The rain hammered against the stained glass windows of the old Presbyterian church in downtown Seattle like it was trying to drown out the whispers, but nothing could silence them. I stood at the altar, my hand trembling in Elena's cool, steady grip as the officiant asked if anyone objected to our union, our quiet, hard-won wedding after years of stolen glances and secret promises. A single voice rose from the back pew, sharp as a winter gale. "She's a glacier, that one. You'll freeze before you thaw her heart." It was my own aunt, her words slicing through the air, echoing what everyone had said since the day Elena and I first went public. But as our eyes met, Elena's lips curved in that private smile only I knew, the one that promised wildfires beneath the frost, and in that heartbeat, I vowed to spend my life proving them all wrong. We'd met 3 years earlier, in the dim glow of a coffee shop buried in the Pike Place Market, where the scent of roasted beans mingled with the salty tang of Puget Sound fog rolling in from the waterfront. I was 26, fresh out of grad school with a journalism degree gathering dust while I scraped by as a freelance writer for local rags, my days a blur of rainy commutes and half-finished articles on everything from indie bands to city council scandals. Elena was 31, a rising star at a boutique law firm specializing in civil rights cases, sharp-suited, unyielding, the kind of woman who could dismantle a bigoted opponent's argument with a single arched brow. Our worlds collided when I spilled my latte across her table, soaking the deposition she'd been reviewing for a landmark LGBTQ+ discrimination suit. "Oh God, I'm so sorry," I stammered, grabbing napkins and dabbing futilely at the mess, my cheeks burning hotter than the spilled coffee. She looked up slowly, her blue eyes like chips of Arctic ice, framed by lashes that should have softened her, but only amplified the severity of her high cheekbones and the tight chignon that pulled her dark hair back like it was leashed. "It's fine," she said, her voice low and clipped, the East Coast edge she'd never quite shaken from her Boston roots cutting through the chatter around us. No smile, no warmth, just efficiency as she pushed the papers aside and stood, towering over me in her heels, all 5'9" of poised indifference. I mumbled an apology again, fumbling for my wallet to offer to buy her replacement, but she waved me off. "Keep it. I've got worse stains on my conscience." And then she was gone, vanishing into the drizzle like a shadow, leaving me with a racing heart and a napkin stained with her ink. That should have been the end of it. Just another awkward Seattle moment where eye contact was a felony and small talk a capital offense. But fate, or maybe the universe's twisted sense of humor, had other plans. 2 weeks later, I landed an interview slot for a profile on up-and-coming queer activists in the Pacific Northwest. Elena's name topped the list, lead counsel on the suit that had just forced the city to revise its anti-discrimination policies for same-sex couples. I showed up at her office in the shadow of the Space Needle, nerves jangling like the ferry bells out on the Sound, clutching my recorder like a lifeline. She remembered me immediately, of course. "The latte assassin," she said dryly, gesturing to the chair across from her desk without rising. The office was all glass and steel, minimalist to the point of austerity, with a single potted succulent fighting for life on the windowsill, the only hint of green in her grayscale world. I laughed, too loudly, and launched into my questions, probing about her drive, her unyielding commitment to the fight. "Why do you do it?" I asked, leaning forward. "The hours, the hate mail, it's brutal." Her gaze flicked to the window, where the Olympics loomed hazy in the distance, then back to me. "Because someone has to. And because turning away isn't an option when you've seen what silence costs." There was a flicker then, something raw beneath the polish, like a crack in fine porcelain. I pressed, gently, about her personal stake. Had she faced backlash? Her jaw tightened, fingers drumming once on the desk. "Everyone has their scars, Miss Harper. Mine are just private." We wrapped up after 40 minutes, but as I gathered my things, she slid a business card across the desk. "If you need a source for that piece, call. And next time, aim for the cup, not the table." I did call, weeks later, when my editor demanded quotes on the verdict. But the calls stretched, first professional, then tentative coffees that blurred into evenings walking the waterfront, her arm brushing mine under the pretext of pointing out the ferries cutting through the waves. Elena was a fortress, her conversations laced with dry wit that bordered on sarcasm, her touches fleeting as sea foam. Friends warned me off after our first group dinner at a Capitol Hill dive bar, where she fielded questions about her cases with clipped precision and excused herself early, citing a brief. "She's ice, Alex," my best friend Jamie said over beers, her brow furrowed. "Beautiful, sure, but you'll get frostbite." My sister, visiting from Portland, was blunter after meeting her at a Pride rally. "Cold as a witch's tit. Run while you can." Even my therapist, over herbal tea in her queen and office, tilted her head and murmured, "Boundaries are healthy, but hers feel like walls." Yet every warning only drew me closer, because I saw the glimpses. The way her eyes softened when a street musician strummed a folk tune about lost loves, or how she'd slip an extra 20 into the hat of a homeless teen hawking zines outside the market. On our sixth date, or what passed for one in her world, a quiet hike up Discovery Park where the cedars whispered secrets to the wind, she finally cracked. We'd paused at a bluff overlooking the sound, the sun dipping low and painting the water in strokes of amber and rose. I was rambling about a story I'd botched, my insecurities spilling out like the tide below. "You're too hard on yourself," she said abruptly, turning to face me. Her hand found mine, deliberate, her thumb tracing the knuckles with a gentleness that belied her reputation. "The world is cruel enough without you joining in." I searched her face, that mask of composure, and whispered, "And you?
Who tells you that?"
For the first time, she faltered, her free hand rising to tuck a stray lock behind my ear, lingering there.
"You do, Alex.
Every time you look at me like I'm more than the verdict headlines." That night, back in her Belltown apartment, a sleek loft with exposed brick and bookshelves groaning under legal tomes and dog-eared poetry, we crossed the threshold from careful courtship to something fiercer. The door clicked shut behind us, and the air thickened, charged like the storm clouds gathering over the sound. Elena backed me against the wall, her kiss not the tentative press of uncertainty but a claim, fierce and unyielding, her hands framing my face as if I were the fragile thing. "I've wanted this," she breathed against my lips, her voice husky, stripped of its courtroom armor. "Wanted you, since that damn coffee." We tumbled to the rug in a tangle of shed layers, my sweater, her blouse, her skin fever hot against mine, a revelation of curves and strength I'd only imagined. She was everywhere, reverent, her mouth tracing paths down my neck, my collarbone, whispering my name like a prayer as her fingers learned the map of me. When she entered me, slow and sure, it was with a tenderness that shattered me, her eyes locked on mine, blue depths swirling with unspoken storms. "You're safe here," she murmured, as waves built and broke between us, her body arching with mine in a rhythm as old as the tides. Afterward, curled against her, my head on her chest, I felt her heartbeat, steady, but laced with a vulnerability she hid from the world. That was the first night I truly knew Elena wasn't cold. She was a hearth fire banked low, waiting for the right hands to coax it to blaze. But the world outside our door didn't care for hidden flames. Our relationship went public 6 months in, after a grainy photo of us kissing at a rally hit the local blogs. The backlash was swift, anonymous emails to Elena's firm accusing her of hypocrisy, murmurs at my freelance gigs about distractions. My family, conservative holdouts from Spokane, sent a letter that arrived like a gut punch. "We love you, but this? She's not right for you. Too detached, too ambitious. You'll be alone in that chill." Elena read it over my shoulder one gray afternoon, her face a mask, but when she set it down, she pulled me into her lap on the couch, her arms a fortress. "They're wrong," she said simply, kissing my temple. "But if it hurts you..." I silenced her with a kiss, fierce as hers had been that first night. "It doesn't. Not when I have this." Yet the doubt seeded, sprouting in quiet moments, her late nights at the office, the way she'd withdraw after tough cases, staring out at the rain like it held answers I couldn't reach. The first real fracture came a year into our engagement, during the sweltering summer of our second anniversary. We'd escaped to the San Juan Islands for a weekend, renting a cabin on Orcas, where the fairies hummed distant lullabies and deer grazed in the meadows. It was meant to be paradise. Picnics on driftwood-strewn beaches, Elena in linen shirts unbuttoned just enough to tease, her laughter freer under the open sky. But on the second night, as we lay tangled in sheets scented with salt and pine, my phone buzzed with a text from Jamie. "Check the news. Elena's firm just dropped a bombshell case." I sat up, heart sinking, and there it was, a civil suit against a megachurch for conversion therapy abuses, Elena's spearheading, her name splashed across headlines with quotes that could ignite powder kegs. "This is war," one op-ed thundered. The threats started immediately. Voicemails laced with venom, a brick through our cabin window that morning, shattering glass and our fragile peace. Elena was fury incarnate, pacing the porch as sheriffs dusted for prints, her phone glued to her ear coordinating with security. "I won't back down," she snarled to her partner, voice like steel. But when she hung up and saw me shivering in the doorway, wrapped in a blanket against the chill wind off the strait, something in her fractured. She crossed the space in 3 strides, pulling me against her, her body a shield. "I'm sorry," she whispered, the words breaking like waves on rocks. "I drag you into this storm every time." I cupped her face, forcing her to meet my eyes, those eyes that held tempests. "I chose the storm, Elena, because it's yours." We made love there on the porch swing, urgent and raw, her hands trembling as they mapped my skin, her cries muffled against my shoulder as release came like catharsis. But as the sun rose, painting the water gold, I wondered if love could weather endless winters. Back in Seattle, the pressure mounted like the relentless drizzle. Elena's caseload tripled, her nights a parade of depositions and strategy sessions that left her hollow-eyed and distant. I'd wake to find her at the kitchen island at 3 a.m., staring at case files, an untouched mug of chamomile gone cold beside her. "Talk to me," I'd plead, sliding onto the stool, my hand over hers. She'd squeeze back, but the words stuck, barriers built from years of fighting alone. My own work suffered, pitches rejected, deadlines missed, as I poured energy into supporting her, attending rallies where crowds chanted her name like a battle cry. Friends drifted, uncomfortable with the intensity, my aunt's warnings echoing louder. "She's consuming you, Alex. That cold will seep in." The breaking point came in November, as autumn leaves choked the gutters and election season vitriol poisoned the air. Elena's firm won the conversion therapy suit, a victory that made national waves, but the cost was a stalker, a fanatic who'd breached security to leave a bouquet of wilted roses and a note on our doorstep: "Repent or burn." Police swarmed, but Elena shut down, retreating into silence that felt like exile. I found her one evening in our bedroom, curled on the floor amid scattered photos, old ones from her Boston days, a younger her arm in arm with a woman whose smile mirrored Elena's hidden one, both in college hoodies at a pride march. "Lila," I said softly, recognizing the name from fragmented stories. Her first love, lost to a family ultimatum that sent Elena west, vowing never to let anyone close again. She said I was too much, too driven, too unyielding, Elena whispered, tears carving tracks down her cheeks, the first I'd ever seen. And she was right. I freeze them out before they can leave. My heart shattered, pieces scattering like the photos. I gathered her up, rocking her as sobs racked that unbreakable frame. "Not me," I vowed, fierce as any oath. "I see you, the fire, the fight, the fear. And I love every scar." That night, we talked until dawn, peeling back layers, her father's abandonment, her mother's quiet disapproval, the armor forged in courtrooms where vulnerability was a liability. By morning, as rain tapped a gentle rhythm on the roof, we decided, therapy, together, boundaries redrawn, A life not just survived, but shared. Winter thawed into spring, our wedding a defiant bloom amid the cherry blossoms lining Lake Union. The aunt who objected sat in the front row, her eyes softening as Elena read her vows. Words I'd helped craft, raw and real. I was a winter you taught me to navigate, Alex. With you, the cold makes way for dawn. The reception spilled into a waterfront pavilion, laughter mingling with the lap of waves, toasts raising glasses to the woman they'd misjudged. But it was later, behind closed doors in our honeymoon suite overlooking the Sound, that Elena truly unveiled. She undressed me slowly, reverently, her hands worshipful as they traced the curve of my hip, the swell of my breast. "My kindest soul," she murmured, echoing the whispers only I knew, her mouth following paths of fire down my body. When she knelt before me, her tongue a promise kept, I arched into ecstasy, her name a litany on my lips. And as we collapsed, spent and sated, she held me close, her heartbeat syncing with mine, a rhythm of resilience, of love that defies the frost. Yet the real test lingered, a shadow in our idyll. 6 months post-vows, Elena uncovered embezzlement in her firm, a senior partner skimming funds from pro bono cases, endangering the very clients she fought for. Whistleblowing meant ruin, lawsuits, disbarment threats, the unraveling of her career. "I can't let it stand," she confessed one stormy evening, thunder rumbling like distant artillery. I nodded, fear coiling in my gut, but pride swelling fiercer. "Then we face it together." The leak hit the press like a thunderclap, headlines branding her a traitor, colleagues turning like leaves in the wind. Protests erupted outside the courthouse, supporters chanting her name, detractors hurling slurs that echoed the worst of our early days. One night, as we hunkered in a safe house on Bainbridge Island, the weight crushed her. "What if I lose everything?" she whispered, curled against me in the dark, vulnerability raw as an open wound. I turned her to face me, our breaths mingling in the lamplight. "You won't lose me, and that's the everything that matters." We made love then, desperate and devotional, her body yielding beneath mine as I claimed her with lips and fingers, drawing gasps that built to cries of release. She shattered beautifully, tears mingling with sweat, and in the afterglow, resolve hardened. The hearings dragged through summer, a gauntlet of cross-examinations where Elena stood unbowed, her testimony a scalpel dissecting corruption. I sat in the gallery each day, my articles chronicling the fight, not as a detached reporter, but as a partner weaving truth into narrative. Victory came in September, the partner indicted, Elena cleared and hailed a hero. But scars lingered, nights when doubts crept in, whispers of too cold from old ghosts. We'd counter them with rituals, Sunday brunches at the market, where she'd steal bites from my scone with a wink, hikes where she'd recite Whitman under the stars, her voice a balm. And always, behind closed doors, the kindness that anchored us, her nursing me through a flu with broth and bad movies, me surprising her with tickets to a symphony she'd mentioned once in passing. 2 years on, as we adopted our first rescue pup, a scruffy mutt named Harbor, all wagging tail and boundless energy, the world began to see her anew. My aunt visited, watching Elena toss a frisbee in Discovery Park, Harbor bounding between us, and pulled me aside. "I was wrong, kiddo.
She's
warm." Elena overheard, her cheeks flushing, but she just smiled, that private one, and drew us both into a hug. In quiet moments, I'd catch her watching me, eyes soft to sea glass, and know we'd forged something unbreakable, a love that taught the world to look beyond the frost. Our story didn't end in grand gestures, but in the everyday miracles, the way she'd leave notes in my laptop bag, scrawled in her precise script, "You thaw me." Or how, on anniversaries, we'd return to that coffee shop, toasting with lattes to the spill that started it all. Elena remained the fighter, taking on cases that bent the arc of justice a little straighter. I built my career around her world, profiling the unsung heroes of the movement. And through it all, the whispers faded, replaced by truths. That cold was but a shield for the kindest soul, one whose love ran deeper than any ocean, warmer than any sun. In the end, as we stood on our balcony one crisp October eve, harbor at our feet, the city lights twinkling like fallen stars, Elena turned to me. "They were right about one thing," she said, her hand in mine. "I was cold until you." I kissed her then, slow and sure, tasting salt and promise. "And now," she smiled, full and free, "now I'm home." And in that, we found our meaning. Love not as conquest, but as quiet revolution, one heart thawed, one world a little less frozen. The autumn after our adoption, life in Seattle settled into a rhythm as steady as the clock tower chimes from Pioneer Square. Mornings tangled in sheets with Harbor's paws pattering impatiently at the door, afternoons where Elena buried herself in briefs while I hammered out columns from our sunlit study. But beneath the domestic hum, undercurrents stirred, remnants of battles past that we'd thought laid to rest. It started with a letter, innocuous at first, slipped into our mailbox amid bills and takeout menus. Cream envelope, elegant script, postmarked from Boston. Elena slid it open over breakfast, her fork pausing midair as she scanned the pages. "It's nothing," she said too quickly, folding it away, but I caught the tremor in her hand, the way her jaw set like concrete. "Who's it from?" I asked, pouring more coffee, trying for casual. She met my eyes, that blue gaze steady but shadowed. "An old colleague, inviting me to a gala civil rights thing back east." Lies hung in the air like fog off the sound, but I let it slide, pressing a kiss to her temple instead. "Sounds fancy. You going?" She shook her head, decisive. "Too much travel. Cases piling up." And that was that, or so I thought. But the letter vanished into a drawer, and Elena's nights grew longer, her returns marked by the scent of rain and something sharper. Whiskey, perhaps, or regret. Weeks blurred into November's gray veil, Thanksgiving looming with my family's annual migration from the East Side. We'd hosted last year, a tense affair where Elena charmed with her dry anecdotes over turkey, but this time, she begged off. "Flu season," she claimed, though her cheeks held no flush. I drove to Spokane alone, Harbor's head in my lap, the I-90 slicing through passes dusted with early snow. The dinner was the usual, Mom's stuffing, Dad's football on TV, my sister grilling me about the Ice Queen. "Still thawing," she teased, winking over pie. I laughed it off, but the words gnawed, amplified by Elena's absence. Texts from her were sparse. "Working late. Love you." No emojis, no details, just echoes of distance. Back home, the apartment felt cavernous, Harbor's whines a chorus to my unease. I found the letter that night, tucked in her briefcase amid depositions. Not a colleague, but Lila, her ex, the ghost from those scattered photos. The words blurred through my tears, effusive praise for Elena's recent win, an invitation not to a gala, but a reunion. "I've followed your fire from afar. Coffee? For old times, and perhaps new beginnings." My stomach twisted, a knife's edge of betrayal. Not infidelity. Elena would never. But the unspoken pull of what-ifs, the life unlived before me. Confrontation came at dawn, as she slipped in, coat shedding droplets like confessions. "Why didn't you tell me?" I demanded, the letter thrust forward, voice cracking. She froze, color draining from her face. "Alex, it's nothing. Nostalgia, that's all." But her eyes darted, the fortress cracking. Nostalgia with a side of new beginnings? God, Elena, after everything. Words failed, heard erupting in sobs I couldn't stifle. She crossed to me, arms enveloping, but I pushed back. "Talk. Really talk, or this wall between us wins." She sank onto the couch, Harbor curling at her feet, as if sensing the storm. The story spilled haltingly, Lila, the college love who'd matched her ambition stride for stride, until family pressures, Lila's conservative clan, forced a choice. She stayed, Elena said, voice hollow. In Boston, in the closet, building a life that fit their mold. I ran west, to freedom that tasted like ash. The letter was an echo, a reminder of the softness she'd armored against. I didn't respond, but seeing her name, it stirred doubts. Am I enough? For you, for this life? Her vulnerability gutted me, fiercer than any anger. I knelt before her, hands framing that face I'd memorized in starlight and shadow. You're everything. The fire, the frost, all of it. But hiding? That freezes us both. We cried then, together, Harbor's nose nudging our joined hands. Forgiveness came in touches, fingers interlacing, lips brushing knuckles, a bridge rebuilt in whispers. No more secrets, she vowed, pulling me up to the bedroom where dawn filtered through curtains like absolution. Our lovemaking was slow, exploratory, her mouth mapping apologies down my spine, fingers delving with a tenderness that coaxed sighs from my depths. When she brought me to peak, it was with eyes locked, a silent promise. No ghosts between us. The holidays healed what the letter had rent. We flew to Portland for my sister's New Year's bash, Elena in a velvet dress that hugged her like sin, her hand possessive in mine amid the revelers. Fireworks burst over the Willamette as we kissed on a balcony, the world blurring to cheers and confetti. Back in Seattle, winter deepened, but so did we, couples counseling in a cozy office overlooking Green Lake, where a soft-spoken therapist drew out Elena's guarded heart. Vulnerability isn't weakness, the woman said one session, as Elena fidgeted with her ring. It's the key to the door you lock so tight. Elena nodded, squeezing my hand, and slowly, the key turned. Spring brought renewal. Harbor's first birthday, a pup party with squeaky toys and dog-safe cake, Elena's promotion to partner, earned with a case that shielded trans youth from shelter evictions. Pride Month dawned vibrant, our float in the parade a riot of rainbows and chants, Elena atop, megaphone in hand, her voice booming calls for equality that thundered through Capitol Hill. I marched beside her, camera clicking, capturing not just the warrior, but the woman whose free hand sought mine in the crush, thumb stroking as if to say, "This is us." But peace is fleeting in lives laced with fight. Mid-July, a call shattered our idyll. Elena's mother, frail in a Boston nursing home, hospitalized after a fall. Come home. The voice crackled, her aunt's, the same who'd disapproved of Lila, who'd called Elena's choices unnatural. Elena paced our kitchen, phone clutched like a grenade. She hasn't spoken to me in years. Not since the wedding invite went unanswered. I watched, heart aching, as old wounds reopened. Go, I urged. For closure, if nothing else. She booked the red-eye, but not alone. I tagged along, harbor boarded with Jamie, our bags packed with resolve and unease. Boston was a time capsule, crisp harbor air sharp with history, brownstones whispering of Puritan ghosts. Elena's childhood home loomed in Beacon Hill, gas lamps flickering like wary eyes. Her mother lay pale in the ICU, tubes snaking like accusations, but her gaze sharpened on Elena. You came. No warmth, just surprise. We sat vigil, days bleeding into nights, me fetching coffees, Elena reading bedside from a dog-eared Austen novel, her voice steady as she voiced unspoken pleas. I forgave you, Mom. For the silence, the shame.
Can you?
The woman turned away at first, but fractures formed. A hand squeeze, a murmured proud in my way. Discharge brought tentative truces. Walks along the Charles, where Elena shared stories of girlhood dreams crushed under expectation. I held her as tears fell into the river, whispering, You're free now. One evening, in a harborside bistro, her mother faced us over chowder. I was wrong, she said, voice quavering. About love, about you. This one, a nod to me. She sees what I couldn't. Elena's hand trembled in mine under the table, and later, in our hotel room overlooking the spires, release came fierce, her pinning me to the bed, legs parting mine with urgent need, her thrusts with a strap-on a symphony of reclaimed power, gasps mingling with I love you, until we crested together, spent in each other's arms. Return to Seattle was bittersweet, Elena lighter, as if Boston's burdens had lifted. Summer waned in barbecues and beach days at Alki, harbor chasing waves while we lounged, Elena's head on my lap, fingers toying with my bikini tie. Thank you, she murmured one sunset, as gulls wheeled overhead, for pushing me through the door. I bent to kiss her, salt-lipped and sun-warmed. Always. Fall heralded change again. My book deal, a memoir weaving our story into the broader queer tapestry. Elena edited drafts late into nights, her red pen surgical but kind, notes like, more heart here, yours shines. Launch night at Elliott Bay Books was electric, crowds spilling onto the street, readings met with applause that swelled my chest. Elena stood in the wings, eyes glistening, and when I dedicated it to the soul who thawed my world, her whoop pierced the cheers. Yet shadows lingered. December brought a custody battle, Elena pro bono for a lesbian couple fighting a bigoted judge. The courtroom was a coliseum, Elena's cross-exams lions tearing at injustice. Victory tasted sweet, but the toll etched lines around her eyes. Home that night, she collapsed into bath, steam curling like sighs. I joined her, soaping her back, thumbs kneading knots. You're carrying too much, I whispered, lips to her shoulder. She leaned back, head lolling. With you, it's lighter. Our bath turned intimate, water sloshing as hands wandered, mine circling her nipples to peaks, hers dipping between my thighs, fingers curling in languid strokes that built to shudders, her name a breath on the tiles. As winter gripped, we dreamed bigger, fostering, perhaps a child of our own amid the legal maze. New Year's found us on a ferry to Bainbridge, champagne flutes clinking under stars. To us, Elena toasted, unfrozen. Fireworks from the city bloomed distant, but ours burned closer. Back in the cabin, clothes shed by firelight, her mouth devouring me with holiday hunger, tongue flicking until stars burst behind my lids. Life wove on, threads of joy and grit. Elena's kindness bloomed public now, mentoring young lawyers, volunteering at the food bank where her efficiency masked a generosity that fed souls. I wrote of it all, our love a beacon in columns that sparked letters. You showed me it's okay to melt. And in quiet nights, harbor snoring at our feet, Elena's arms my harbor, I knew. The cold was myth, her soul the sun. The new year dawned with promise, but Seattle's winters are tenacious, clinging like regrets we thought we'd shed. January's gales howled through the viaducts, mirroring the unrest brewing in Elena's world. Her firm, still smarting from the embezzlement scandal, eyed expansion, a branch in Portland, with Elena tapped to lead. It's an opportunity, she said over dinner at our favorite Italian spot in Belltown, twirling pasta with feigned nonchalance. More impact, better pay. I nodded, fork scraping plate, but the subtext clanged. Distance, another layer to bridge. And us? I asked, voice steady despite the churn. She reached across, thumbs stroking my wrist.
Commute.
Weekends here. It's not forever. But doubt is a sly thief, stealing sleep in the small hours. I lay awake as she breathed even beside me, harbor's snores a counterpoint, imagining her in a city of roses and rain, building walls anew. Mornings, I'd brew her coffee extra strong, slipping notes into her briefcase. Come home to this heart. She'd find them at lunch, texting back photos of the scrawls with heart emojis, rare for her, precious as pearls. The move loomed in February, a trial run, Elena shuttling south for meetings, our bed cold on her absent nights. I'd fill voids with work. Book tour stops in San Francisco, where readers hugged me post-reading, sharing tales of thawed loves that mirrored ours. Your Elena sounds like my wife, one woman said, eyes misty. We fought the frost too. It fueled me, but homecomings were bittersweet, Elena arriving exhausted, collapsing into my arms with kisses that tasted of haste. Missed you, she'd murmur, hands urgent under my shirt, pulling me to the couch where we'd reclaim lost time, her fingers deft and demanding, drawing moans that echoed off the bricks until release left us boneless, whispers weaving plans for permanence. March brought the decision, accept or stay. We debated over wine on our balcony, city lights a constellation below. Portland's progressive, she argued, room to grow the practice, take on bigger fights. I sipped, heart heavy. And Seattle? Our roots, Harbor's Park romps, this view? Silence stretched, broken by her sigh. It's not about leaving you. It's about building for us. Tears pricked. I swiped them away. Then build with me. Here. She pulled me close, lips to my forehead. I need this, Alex. To prove I'm more than the cases. The words stung, implying our life wasn't enough, but I saw the fear beneath, the drive born of Lila's shadow, of proving worth beyond love. Compromise emerged, trial period, 6 months in Portland midweek, weekends north. We packed her Pioneer Square loft with potted herbs and photos, us at the market, wedding day grins, talismans against drift. Departure day, rain lashed the I-5, Harbor whining from the back seat as we ferried her south. The drive was quiet, hands linked over the console, radio humming indie folk about roads not taken. Her new space overlooked the Willamette, sleek and sparse, but we christened it that night. Me on the kitchen counter, her mouth hot and insistent between my thighs, tongue swirling until I cried out, fingers tangled in her hair. This is home too, she gasped after, as we swayed to slow dances in the living room. The rhythm settled uneasily. Mondays she'd kiss me goodbye at dawn, ferries cutting waves like sighs. Fridays, I'd meet her train, our reunions fevered, dinners at food carts, then home to tangle sheets, her body arching under mine as I pinned her wrists, thrusting with a harness that made her gasp my name like salvation. Calls bridged gaps, her voice tinny over lines. Read your latest, brilliant as always. But silences grew, unspoken strains of solo evenings, her late nights with clients who didn't know the woman behind the briefs. April's cherry blossoms mocked our separation, petals drifting like confetti at a party we weren't throwing. A call from my editor pulled me south to a Portland feature on queer entrepreneurs. Staying over, I slipped into her bed unannounced, waking her with kisses down her spine. Surprise, I whispered as she rolled to me, sleepy smile blooming. We made love lazy, morning light gilding skin, her fingers lazy circles on my clit, building slow to shudders that left us laughing, breathless. Stay the week, she pleaded, but deadlines called north. Cracks widened in May, a client crisis, keeping her weekend bound. Rain check, she texted, apologies laced with emojis. I paced our Seattle apartment, harbor sensing malaise, nudging my calves. Jamie dragged me to a bar crawl in Fremont, shots burning doubts, but midnight found me scrolling old photos, Elena's rare grins, our hands intertwined. A voicemail waited at dawn. Her voice thick. I hate this.
Come down.
Please. The drive was blur of evergreens and resolve. Portland greeted with drizzle, her loft dim when I arrived, key under mat as promised. She was on the couch, wine glass in hand, eyes red-rimmed. I can't do half measures, she confessed, pulling me down. This city's pulling, but you're the gravity. Tears mingled as we kissed, desperate, clothes shed in a trail to the bedroom. There, she worshipped me, lips on breasts, tongue delving deep, fingers curling to hit that spot until I arched, keening. Then I returned, strapping on, entering her slow, watching her face contort in pleasure pain, our rhythms sinking like tides. Don't let go, she begged as climax claimed us, bodies slick and sated. We talked till dawn. The move was poison, diluting what we'd built. Resign, I urged. Or transfer back. She nodded, decision crystallizing. By week's end, she'd tendered notice, citing family, me, harbor, as anchor. Return to Seattle was jubilation. Unpacking boxes into permanence, a backyard barbecue where friends toasted the homecoming queen. Summer healed divides. Elena joined a smaller firm, closer to home, cases still fierce but balanced. We vacationed in the Cascades, cabin nestled in pines, days hiking to waterfalls where she'd pull me under cascades, wet kisses leading to forest floor trysts, her back against moss, my mouth bringing her to gasps that scared birds from branches. Evenings by fire, she'd read law journals aloud, mocking pompous judges, her laughter freer, unguarded. Fall brought bounty. Harbor's puppy playdates, my book's paperback run. Elena surprised with ring upgrades, matching bands etched with thaw, slipped on over candlelight. For the forever we almost lost. Pride in her eyes, I knelt, not in proposal but promise, making love on the rug, her cries a symphony as I claimed every inch. Winter whispered of more. Fertility consults, dreams of tiny feet pattering with harbors. Consults were hopeful, science on our side. We'll make it, Elena vowed, hand on my belly in imagined futures. Life's tempests passed, leaving stronger shores. Elena's kindness, once veiled, radiated, speeches at schools on acceptance, where teens approached shy. You give me hope. And in our bed, her soul bared nightly, touches that spoke volumes, gentle, fierce, eternal. As snow dusted the sound, we stood wrapped on the balcony, breaths fogging glass. Everyone was wrong, she murmured. You're the warmth. I smiled, kissing her chilled nose. And you're the world. By the following spring, our life in Seattle had woven into a tapestry rich with color, threads of routine laced with the occasional spark of adventure that kept the embers glowing. Elena's new firm was a haven of purpose, smaller but scrappier, taking on cases that hit close. A trans elder evicted from assisted living, a non-binary teen suing for name change rights without parental consent. She'd come home energized, eyes alight as she recounted courtroom triumphs over takeout foe, her chopsticks gesturing like a conductor's baton. The judge actually smiled, first time in history, she'd say, and I'd laugh, pulling her onto my lap for victory kisses that often escalated, dishes forgotten as hands roamed, her blouse unbuttoned to reveal lace that made my pulse race. I, meanwhile, dove deeper into writing, my columns evolving into a podcast series, Thawing Tales, interviews with queer couples navigating the chill of judgment. Elena guested once, her voice steady as she shared our latte spill origin, the audience gasping at the reveal of her cold facade. It's a shield, she admitted, hand in mine under the mic, but love disarms. Listeners flooded inboxes, stories of walls crumbling. Thanks for the mirror. Harbor grew into a loping adolescent, his energy demanding longer walks along the Burke-Gilman Trail, where Elena would jog beside me, ponytail swinging, stealing kisses at locks where boats chugged past. One May morning, under dogwood blooms shedding petals like confetti, she stopped abruptly, breath coming in huffs. Alex, she said, serious, dropping to one knee, not with ring, but a velvet box containing a key. To the cabin in the San Juans. Our sanctuary. Buy it with me? Tears blurred the engraving. Forever thawed. I tackled her to the grass, harbor barking joy, our laughter mingling with birdsong. That night, celebrating in our bed, she was insatiable, strapping on with a grin, entering me from behind as I gripped pillows, her hand snaking to circle my clit, thrusts building to a crescendo that left us trembling, vows renewed in sweat-slicked whispers. The purchase sealed summer's joy, weekends ferrying to Orcas, the cabin now ours, cozy upgrades like a stone hearth and deck overlooking the strait. We'd kayak at dawn, Elena's strokes powerful, her whoops echoing when Orcas surfaced distant. Afternoons, she'd read briefs in a hammock, me beside with laptop, harbor chasing sticks. Evenings devolved to romance, sunset picnics turning heated, her pinning me to blankets, mouth devouring breasts while fingers plunged deep, drawing cries that scared deer from woods. Mine, she'd growl, and I'd flip her, tasting her essence till she bucked, release a river. But idols invite storms. June's solstice brought Elena's 30th high school reunion, Boston-bound, a ghost trip she'd dodged for years. Just a night, she promised, packing with reluctance. I waved her off at the airport, harbor whining, but unease nod. Text trickled, boring speeches. Miss you. Then silence. Midnight call, her voice slurred. Lila's here. With a wife. Happy, Alex. So happy. Relief mixed with ache. I soothed her through static. Come home to your happy. She returned hollow-eyed, crashing into my arms at baggage claim. Over airport coffee, the flood. Lila, radiant with spouse, toasts to old flames fizzling right. She asked about you. Elena said, stirring sugar endlessly. Said our story's the one that got away for her. Jealousy flickered, irrational, but Elena saw. No regrets, she vowed. Cab ride home a prelude, her hand under my skirt, fingers teasing till I gasped, driver oblivious. Home. Urgency peaked. Shower steam cloaking us as I dropped to knees, tongue laving her folds, her hands fisting my hair as she came with a keening wail. Healing came in July's heat wave, a road trip down the Oregon coast, craggy shores, clam chowder stops, motel nights where AC hummed counterpoint to moans. In Cannon Beach, Haystack Rock looming like sentinel, we walked tide pools, Elena skipping stones with childlike glee. This is living, she said, pulling me behind a dune for a tryst, sand gritty, her mouth hot on my neck, fingers urgent inside me till waves crashed in echo of my peak. August whispered family expansion. Fertility shots began, calendars marked with hope. Consults were optimistic, strong candidates. Injections stung, but Elena's hands soothed, massages turning sensual, her lips on needle marks, tongue tracing paths to ecstasy. Our family, she'd murmur, as I'd reciprocate, fingers and mouth coaxing her through tension to bliss. Fall's equinox brought harvest. Positive test, 2 lines dark on stick. Elena stared, then crushed me in hug, tears soaking my shirt. We're doing this. Ultrasounds confirmed. Girl, due in May. News spread, Jamie whooping over brunch, my sister planning nurseries. Elena's mom, softened by time, sent knit booties from Boston a card. Grandma's thaw. Pregnancy wove magic and misery. Morning sick, Elena fetching ginger ale at ungodly hours, her forehead cool on my fevered brow. Cravings led to midnight runs to Pike Place, salmon and scones devoured on benches, her hand on my swell. Sex shifted tender, me on back, her fingers gentle circles, mouth suckling breasts tender with change, building slow to shared sighs. Winters chill-tested, blizzards blanketing the city, cabin fever in our nest. Elena paced during a brief scare, spotting our dash through snow. All clear, Doc said, but fear lingered. That night, cocooned, she held me fierce. Can't lose this. Lovemaking was reassurance, her atop, grinding slow, clit to clit in slick friction till release washed worries. Spring burgeoned with our bloom. Baby showers rained gifts, tiny onesies, books of verse. Elena read to my belly nightly, voice low. You'll know love's warmth from day one. Labor hit in April's bloom, 20 hours of grit, Elena's hand crushed in mine, her whispers anchor through contractions. Dawn brought her, Sophia, wailing fierce, blue eyes like her mama's. Holding her, Elena wept, raw, unshielded. Our miracle. Home, chaos reigned, feedings, diapers, harbor sniffing curiously. Nights blurred to tag-team exhaustion, but joy pierced. Sophia's first smile at Elena's coo, tiny fist clutching finger. Father's Day, ironic, perfect, We picnicked in park, Sophia swaddled, Elena's head on my shoulder. They called me cold, she mused. But look, life from us. I kissed her temple. The kindest thaw. Life expanded, boundless. Elena balanced court with cuddles, me writing maternal musings. Sophia's first steps? To Elena's arms, laughter echoing. Challenges came, colic nights, work pulls, but love buffered, nights reclaiming intimacy. Quickies and showers, her fingers deft while Sophia napped, gasps muffled in towels. Years folded, Sophia's preschool finger paints, family hikes where she'd toddle, declaring, Mama E's stories best. Elena's legacy grew, books on equity, speeches igniting change. Our love, bedrock, evolved, anniversaries in cabins, lovemaking seasoned, knowing, her entering me slow, eyes locked, building to symphonies of shared peaks. In quiet, as Sophia dreamed, Elena's arms encircled. Everyone was wrong. I'd turn, lips to hers. We were right. Sophia's toddler years flew on wings of whimsy and where, a whirlwind of sippy cups and storytime demands that turned our once orderly loft into a labyrinth of blocks and board books. By 3, she was Elena's shadow, trailing her to the study in footy pajamas, demanding court tales, with wide blue eyes inherited wholesale. Once upon a time, Elena would begin, perching her on knee. A brave lawyer fought dragons in suits. Sophia giggled through verdicts, justice served with juice boxes. I'd watch from doorway, heart full, stealing kisses when Sophia dozed, Elena's mouth yielding soft, hands wandering to reignite sparks amid the domestic blaze. My writing flourished in motherhood's muse, essays on queer parenting, weaving Sophia's curls and Elena's resolve into narratives that resonated coast to coast. Podcast guests now included dads and moms like us, voices harmonizing in choruses of We Made It. Book tours meant overnights away, but returns were rituals, Elena and Sophia greeting at gates with signs. Mama Alex conquers. Evenings post-bedtime, we collapse on couch, wine loosening limbs, her fingers tracing my thigh till clothes pooled, couch springs creaking under urgent rhythms, her gasp against my neck as fingers plunged, reclaiming the wild beneath the tame. Summer of Sophia's 4th broad adventure, cross-country drive to Boston, Elena's olive branch to Roots. Her mother, Frylia now, welcomed us to the brownstone with tentative smiles, garden tea where Sophia charmed with somersaults on lawn. She's you, Graham murmured to Elena, watching her scoop granddaughter mid-spin. Evenings we'd walk Freedom Trail, Sophia on shoulders pointing statues, Elena's hand warm in mine. One night, post-bedtime in guest room, nostalgia stirred, Elena's mouth hot on my breasts, fingers curling deep as she whispered, "This healing. You made it." Release came hushed, bodies arching in moonlit quiet. Fall harvest included Sophia's preschool debut, tiny backpack, Elena tearing up a drop-off. Our warrior, she said, squeezing my hand. Work pulled Elena harder, a class-action suit against workplace bias, hours long but victory sweeter. Homecomings meant baths with bubbles, Sophia splashing Mama as Elena lifted her high. My columns captured it. The thaw deepens, love in little moments. Winter's hush gifted introspection. Holiday cards from Lila, now a family of 4, notes warm. Your light inspires. Elena read aloud, no shadows, then burned sage in kitchen. Ghosts banished. New Year's, Sophia Abed. We danced slow in living room, her body flushed to mine, hands slipping under sweater to tease peaks till breaths hitched. To bed, slow unraveling, me straddling, grinding to her fingers dance, climax a shared sparkler burst. Spring's renewal. Sophia's 5th, party with cake and cousins, Elena in apron wielding whisk like gavel. Order in the court, she'd quip, frosting smeared on noses. That night, post-party haze, Sophia crashed early. We retreated to tub, bubbles foaming as her hand dipped low, circles lazy on my clit till water sloshed with shudders. Happy chaos, she murmured, as I returned, tongue laving till she arched, toes curling. Challenges crept. Sophia's questions at 6. Why 2 mamas? Met with books and honesty. Elena's voice steady. Love makes families like glue. Schoolyard taunts stung once. Your mom's weird. Sophia home teary. Elena knelt, fierce gentle. Weird is wonderful. Like unicorns. We rallied. Bake sale fund for anti-bullying, Sophia beaming as cookies sold. Summer camp for Sophia meant our first empty nest preview. Weekend cabin, kayaks, and quiet. Trails led to meadows where we'd picnic nude, sun-kissing skin, her mouth trailing fire down belly to core, tongue delving till I bucked, earth-grounding ecstasy. Nights by fire, stories swapped, her cases my drafts, then to furs, strap-on slow, her eyes locked as she thrust, building to cries that echoed woods. Fall brought Elena's milestone. TEDx talk on Justice Beyond the Bar, streamed live, her poise captivating, words on vulnerability slicing hearts. Post-talk high, homecoming was fever. Door barely shut, her pressing me to wall, skirt hiked, fingers urgent inside as mouth claimed lips, gasps ragged till knees buckled, sliding to floor in climax tangle. Winter deepened bonds. Sophia's snowman army guarded yard, Elena joining battles with scarves as sashes. Holiday lights twinkled as we baked, flower fights ending in kisses, Sophia giggling gross. My book sequel deal. Thawed legacies, Sophia's story woven in. Spring's thaw. Sophia 7, losing teeth to tooth fairy's purse. Questions evolved. Can I be a lawyer like Mama E? Elena beamed. Mock trial in living room, gavel a wooden spoon. My tours expanded, but video calls kept us tethered, Sophia waving props. Summer road trip east again, Grand Canyon awe, Sophia gaping at chasms, Elena whispering, like our love, vast, enduring. Campfire nights, Sophia roasts marshmallows. Post-bed, stars canopy as we make love intent, her hand muffling my moans, fingers rhythmic till stars spun. Fall's foliage framed Sophia's play, school musical, Ura's tree and nutcracker, branches waving proud. Elena filmed, teary. Post-show ice cream, toasts to our star. Nightcap, wine warming, her lips on neck, guiding to bed where slow 69 unfolded, tongues dueling to mutual peaks, sighs sated. Winter solstice ritual. Yule log burned, wishes whispered, Sophia's for more adventures, ours entwined. New Year, resolutions, more date nights, babysitter secured for symphony, post-concert alley tryst, her back to brick, my fingers delving quick, gasps steaming cold air. Life's mosaic gleamed, Elena's pro bono clinic launch, free consults for underserved, my podcast Emmy nod, ceremony where she pinned corsage, whisper, stunning. After party, hotel suite, gown unzipped slow, her worship with mouth and hands, building to symphonic release. Sophia 8, bike lessons in park, Elena studying, cheers as she pedaled free. Like you, Sophia panted, hugging legs. Evenings, bedtime stories tripled, her voice lulling, my hand in hers under covers. Summer's heat, beach house rent on Whidbey, sandcastles and esmores, Sophia buried to neck. Adult swims, waves lapping as we wade deep, her arms buoying, fingers teasing underwater till ripples hid shivers. Fall equinox hike, mountain summit views, Sophia's whoop echoing. Peak picnic turned playful, blanket tussle, her tickling to giggles, kisses deepening post-Sophia nap, hand inside shorts, circles tight till hushed climax. Winter's grip, snowed in, fort built of blankets, Sophia queen. Power out, candles flickered lovemaking, her on all fours, me behind with toy, thrusts measured, gasps blending with wind. Spring burst. Sophia 9, science fair volcano erupting cheers. Elena's judge role bias proud. Night. Our genius, murmured as fingers trace stars on skin, mouth following to core, tongue's lava flow. Life, thawed fully, flowed, kindness in Elena's core, rippling out. Sophia's heart, mirror, our love, eternal flame. Sophia's double digits arrived like a comet, streaking our lives with the bright chaos of tween independence, sleepovers that echoed with giggles till midnight, eye rolls at old people rules, and the first hints of her budding self, a fierce spirit echoing Elena's unyielding core. 10 candles flickered on a cake we'd baked from scratch, chocolate smeared on cheeks as she blew them out, wish sealed with a grin. World domination, kidding, more dog parks for Harbor Jr. We'd adopted the pup last fall, a fluffy sidekick to our aging mutt, and Sophia's domain expanded, leashes doubled for park jaunts where Elena tossed balls, her laughter ringing freer than in any courtroom. My work crested waves. The sequel launched to acclaim. Tours crisscrossing the Midwest where fans queued for signings, sharing, "Your thaw saved my marriage." Elena surprised at Chicago stop, sweeping in post-reading with roses, hotel night a whirlwind, door kick shut, her hands pinning wrists to headboard, mouth claiming with bites that bloomed bruises, fingers plunging deep till I arched, begging release, she denied till tears pricked, then granting in flood. "My star," she whispered after, tracing welts with tongue. Fall's crisp air carried Sophia's school drama. Crush on classmate, awkward notes passed in class. "Is it like you and Mama, eh?" she asked over dinner, cheeks pink. Elena fielded smooth. "Love's a puzzle, pieces fit when right." We navigated, hearts aching for her stumbles, but pride swelled at her resilience. Winter holidays amplified. Boston visit, Graham's frailty advancing, but Sophia's carols coax smiles, stories of fierce lawyers captivating. Return flight, Sophia asleep, Elena's hand on thigh, fingers inching higher till turbulence masked gasps, climax hushed in mile-high secrecy. Spring thawed revelations, Sophia's coming out, not dramatic, but quiet over ice cream. "I like girls. Like you too." Elena's eyes misted, hug enveloping. "Perfect, just as you are." We celebrated low-key, park picnic, rainbow kite soaring. My essay series bloomed. Young thaws, Sophia's permission for anonymized tales. Elena's clinic thrived, grants pouring, her TED follow-up viral, invites flooding. Summer swelter, family camping in Olympics, tents pitched by river, Sophia fishing with Elena, lines cast like hopes. Nights, embers low, Sophia zipped in bag, we slipped to riverbank. Water cool on skin, her body warm astride, grinding slow under moon, clit friction building to muffled cries, ripples carrying ecstasy downstream. Fall equinox marked Elena's sabbatical. 3 months off, dream deferred for life audit. We road-tripped southwest, Grand Canyon to Sedona vortices, Sophia vortex hopping with magic claims. Elena, unplugged, hiked fearless, her stories folklore-rich. One dusk in Red Rock Amphitheater, Sophia scouting trails. Elena pulled me to crevice, wall rough on back, her knee-parting thighs, fingers urgent, thumb on clit till stars burst, body quaking in ancient echo. Winter's introspection, Sophia 11, braces glinting in debates, school mock UN, her speeches Elena polished, winning cheers. Home, post-victory, she crashed, we uncorked champagne, bubbles leading to bubbles bath, her soaping breasts to peaks, mouth suckling as fingers delved, water churning with shudders. Spring's vigor, my podcast network deal, studio and loft, mics capturing voices. Elena guest-directed episodes on equity, her insights gold. Sophia's track team joined, sprints mirroring her fire, Elena timing laps, cheers booming. Summer Odyssey, Europe backpack, Paris crepes, Rome ruins, Sophia sketching Colosseum gladiators. Venice gondola, Elena's whisper our canal, hand under cloak teasing Till or dips hid peaks. Athens Acropolis, history's weight lightened by her arm around waist. Fall's harvest, Sophia 12, bat mitzvah nod, secular, but ritual-rich, her speech on thawing hate, tear-jerking. Elena's vow renewal surprise, beach at dusk, efficient friend, Sophia ring-bearer. Vows renewed, still thawing me. Post-ceremony, sand warm, her burying face in thighs, tongue worship till waves lapped orgasm. Winter solstice, Graham's passing, quiet in sleep. Boston funeral bittersweet, Sophia's eulogy she learned late, but loved deep. Return, grief's grip eased in arms, love-making cathartic, her tears on breasts, my fingers soothing to release, healing in union. Spring renewal, Sophia 13, braces off, braces for teen storms, crushes deeper, friends' biases surfacing. We mediated, Elena's calm boundaries, like law. My book 3, Generational Thaw, Sophia co-author credit, launches packed. Summer's blaze, cabin expansion, loft for Sophia's art, deck hot tub, bubbles churning as we soaked, her foot teasing between legs, circles underwater till surface broke with cry. Fall frenzy, high school apps looming, Sophia's essays Elena edited, my anecdotes fueling. Volunteer trip to border aid, family unit, Sophia sorting donations, Elena advocating, bonds ironclad. Winter's warmth, holiday lights tour, Sophia's first kiss story shy shared. Like your latte spill? Elena winked. New Year, resolutions, more us time, spa weekend where massages morphed mutual, oils slicking skin, fingers and tongues exploring to symphonic bliss. Life's river ran rich. Elena's honor, lifetime achievement at gala, speech dedicating to my thaws, Alex, Sophia. Tears flowed, mine proud. After party, limo ride. Partition up, her hand in lap, fingers delving quick, climax in shadowed luxury. Sophia 14, activism budding, school walkout for climate, Elena chaperoning, pride beaming. Home, debrief devolved to family fort, stories till sleep. Summer's whisper, college tours east, Sophia's eyes wide at Ivy Halls. Your path, she asked Elena. Mine's here with you. Heart full, we drove, hands linked. Fall's pivot, Sophia 15, driver's license chase, Elena in passenger, white-knuckled cheers at parallel park. Like life, steer true. Winter's embrace, pandemic echoes faded, but virtual holidays with kin. Sophia's online debates sharp, Elena moderating. Spring's bloom, 16th birthday, car keys jangling, road trip to Portland. Echoes of our old divide, now bridged. Diner pie, her hand on knee, fingers tracing thigh till booth hid shivers. Life, layered, luminous, Elena's kindness core, rippling eternal. Cold, she'd quip. Only in winter, and even then, you melt me. Sophia's 16th summer scorched with a fire of newfound freedoms, driver's license burning a hole in her wallet, curfews negotiated like treaties, and late-night drives to beach bonfires where she'd return windswept, eyes sparkling with tales of first heart flutters. Elena played sentinel soft, waiting up with tea, her be safe, laced with the quiet terror of letting go. I'd soothe post-worry, better refuge where her body sought mine urgent, legs entwining, her thigh pressing between, grinding slow till friction sparked, gasps building to shared release, sweat cooling on skin as Harbor Jr. snuffled at door. My career crested, podcast syndication, book foreign works, Thaw's legacy, raising revolutionaries. Tours looped coasts, Sophia face-diming from proms, her gown twirling. Elena joined Denver leg, post-event sweet as storm, silk ties binding wrists to bedposts, her mouth teasing edges, denying till please spilled, then fingers and tongue granting torrent, body bowing in waves. Fall's frenzy, college essays, dissected family dinners, Sophia's voice steady on identity. Two moms shaped my fight. Applications winged east, west, her blend of Elena's law bent, my narrative flair. Elena's clinic hit milestone, 1,000 clients served, gala where Sophia emceed, poise proud. Afterglow, rooftop, city sprawl below, her unzipping dress slow, cool air pebbling skin, mouth hot on core, knees buckling to ledge till cries swallowed stars. Winter's hush, Sophia 17, snowed in cabin holiday, sleds whipping hills, her whoops echoing. Evenings cocoa by fire, stories of our spills and trials. Post-Sophia bedtime, loft ladder climbed, blankets fort, her pinning shoulders, straps slow entry, thrusts measured to moans muffled in pillows, rhythms sinking like heartbeats. Spring's surge, acceptances flooded, Harvard early, Elena's alma flicker. Your shadow. Sophia teased. My light. Visits east, Boston bloom, Graham's garden now Sophia's plot, seed sown. My keynote at Queer Lit Fest, Elena in front row, eyes locked, post-speech, green room quickie, door barred, her hand in jeans, fingers curling fast till walls shook silent peak. Summer send-off, Sophia 18, graduation caps tossed, party our backyard riot friends, family, toasts to Thaw's next chapter. Elena's speech. You froze us solid, then melted worlds. Tears, hugs. Later, empty nest preview. Sophia at friends, us in hot tub, jets pulsing as her foot teased, evolving to straddling lap, water churning with grinds to climax splash. Fall exodus. Dorm drop-off Cambridge. Sophia's room stark then homed with posters, hugs lingering. Drive back 90 blur of tears, Elena's hand thigh-high. Our bird flies. Home echoey, first night reclaim, dinner candlelit, wine flowing to bed slow, exploring like newlyweds, her tongue mapping scars and swells, fingers delving deep till arches crested twice, thrice, exhaustion sweet. Winters readjust. Empty nest blues battled with date nights. Symphony, her hand skirt high and dark, circles discreet till intermission gasp. Travels resumed. My book tour Asia. Elena joining Tokyo, neon nights. Izakaya heat leading to Ryokan futon. Yukata shed, her body oiled glide. Mouth and hand symphony till dawn pinked shoji. Spring's rebirth. Sophia's freshman calls. Classes thrilling. Crush confess shy. Like you too. Elena laughed. Better, yours. My podcast special. Empty Thaw. Couples on launches. Elena co-host. Vulnerability raw. Love evolves, deeper roots. Summer's interlude. Sophia home. Internship at Elena's old firm. Suits crisp. Family hikes. Her stories adult-edged. Evenings, post-bed. Us on deck. Wine to whispers, her lips neck nuzzling, guiding inside where fingers danced, building to deck-shaking release. Fall's flux, Sophia's midterm crunch, care packages shipped. Elena's case landmark, Supreme Court amicus on marriage equality echoes, briefs filed firelit nights. Victory whispers, home celebration, champagne shower, bodies slick, her kneeling to taste victory on skin, tongue laving till knees quivered. Winter solstice. Sophia visits, Yule traditions tripled. Her tales of campus loves, first kiss detailed blushing. Proud, Elena hugged. New year, Sophia back, our toast private, balcony chill, her coat open, body heat grinding to fogged glass peaks. Spring's bloom. Sophia 19, study abroad Italy announced. Gelato and gladiators. Prep frenzy. Our tears mask joy. My award banquet. Elena arm candy stunning. After party yacht. Waves rocking as cabin door latched. Her gown hiked. thrust from behind with toy, rails gripped till harbor lights blurred in climax. Summer farewell, airport send-off, hugs fierce. Home void filled slow, Sophia postcards peppered, us volunteering clinic, hands busy healing. Date to San Juan's, cabin nights, fire crackle, her worship with ice cubes trailing breasts to core, melt mixing with essence, tongue following to shivers. Fall's focus, Sophia's Roman dispatches, art amore. Elena's book deal, memoir Beyond the Bar. Co-writing sessions, our synergy spark, pauses for kisses deepening to desk clears, her atop files, grinding to gasps, ink smudged on skin. Winter's weave, holidays virtual, Sophia's face screen glow. Resolutions, Italy trip plan. My columns on long-distance parenting, resonance rippling. Spring's voyage, Rome reunion, Sophia tour guide, Colosseum shadows, her arm linked. Evenings trattoria, wine to walks, stolen kisses in alleys, her hand wall pinning, fingers quick under skirt till arch against stone. Summer simmer, Sophia 20, returns stateside, transfer west, UW, home orbit. Apartment hunt, our nest expanding visits. Pride parade, 3 generations marching, Sophia's sign thaw the hate. Fall's flourish, classes commute, dinners debriefs. Elena's book launch, Sophia forward penning. Signing lines, her pride beaming. Post-party, loft, crowd faded, her unzipping slow, that a canvas of touches, fingers, mouths, toys in orchestration to multiple crescendos. Winter's warmth, Sophia's holiday internship DC, brief absence. Us cabin cocoon, snow blanketing, love-making marathon positions new, her dominance playful, strapped deep, commands whispered till surrender absolute. Spring stride, Sophia 21, legal clinic volunteer, Elena mentoring. My podcast finale season, wrap party, where toasts flowed. After, home haze, her in tux remnants, me in lace, slow strip to 69, tastes mingling to harmonious peak. Life's thaw complete, Elena's soul, kindest flame, illuminating paths, Sophia's, ours, worlds. Cold, scoff at mirrors. Blazing. Sophia's early 20s unfolded like a well-loved novel, chapters thick with ambition and the tender tugs of home. Law school applications stacking like kindling, her nights a blur of casebooks and coffee-fueled cram sessions in our living room, where Harbor Jr. snoozed at her feet and Elena quizzed her over flashcards with the precision of a senior partner. Objection leading. Sophia would fire back, eyes alight, and Elena's laugh would bubble up, rare and rich, pulling me from kitchen to join the fray, our impromptu moot court dissolving into tickle fights that left us all breathless on the rug. My own pages turned. The podcast evolved into a nonprofit, Thaw Voices, funding story circles for marginalized youth, grants flowing as Elena's connections opened doors. Tours became keynotes at conferences, my words on resilient love echoing halls from Austin to Atlanta. Elena surprised at South by Southwest, slipping into the audience incognito, her post-talk grin wolfish as we ducked into a panelist's lounge, door locked, her hands hiking skirt, fingers delving with keynote urgency till podium muffled cries, release a standing ovation in solitude. Fall's amber hues framed Sophia's bar exam grind, our home a study bunker, potlucks with her cohort, Elena cooking pasta mountains, me brewing focus teas. Passage news hit like confetti, screams echoing halls, hugs crushing. Celebration dinner at Kindest, skyline glittering, toasts to Thaw's next advocate. Later, penthouse suite, champagne spilling as gowns shed, her body a feast, mouth on breasts, tongue flicking nipples to peaks while fingers curled inside, building to shatter, then roles reversed, my strap entering slow, her gasps a melody against window panes. Winter's mantle-draped milestones, Sophia's clerkship offer, federal judge in Seattle, stars aligning. Elena's memoir hit shelves, launches packed with queer icons, her readings raw, passages on our latte dawn drawing sniffles. Book tour duo, us crisscrossing, hotel nights a tour de force, bathtub soaks turning steamy, her legs over edges, my mouth lapping waves till she bucked, water cascading, bed marathons, toys and ties in symphony, climaxes cascading like chapters closed. Spring's vigor. Sophia, 23, clerk chambers start, suits sharp as Elena's. Mentorship lunches, case debriefs over salads, her growth a mirror polished. My non-profit gala, black tie swirl, Elena in emerald silk, arm possessive. After party yacht again. Decks cleared, her pulling to rail, wind whipping as fingers trace spine to cleft, entering from behind with plugs tease, thrusts sinking with swells till harbor swallowed screams. Summer Sabbath, family cruise Alaska, glaciers calving, Sophia awed at ice's crash. Evenings, deck chairs under aurora hints, her hand thigh-high under blanket, circles discreet till shivers betrayed, slipping away to cabin for full surrender, bed creaking, her dominance fierce, commands to yield, met with arching compliance, release a northern lights burst. Falls Forge, Sophia's first oral argument, pro bono clinic tie-in, Elena Gallery perch proud. Wins sealed with courthouse coffee, tears of triumph. Home, cake and cheers, post-Sophia crash, wine to waltz, spins slowing to slow grind on couch, clothes shed, her thigh pressing clit till friction flamed, gasps harmonizing. Winter solstice, Sophia's holiday party, colleagues charmed by tales of Mama E's thaw. New Year Eve, trio toast virtual kin, then duo dance, ballroom to boudoir, her corset unlaced slow, body bared to candle flicker, my tongue tracing ribs to navel to core, laving till thighs quaked, her Pika solstice star. Spring's ascent, Sophia, 24, partnership track whispers. Elena's sequel penned, our co-ghostwriting fireside, pauses for inspiration, her lap a seat, grinding to mutual spark, words flowing post-peak. My TED Talk booked, nerves jangled, rehearsal her director, ending in reward, desk bend, strap deep, thrusts punctuating, brilliant. Summer simmer, Sophia's Italy return alumni fellowship. Farewell dinner tear-tinged, us cabin interim, loons calling as we canoe dusk, beach landing for lovemaking, sand warm, her atop reverse, grinding back till cries scared fish, waves lapping afterglow. Falls flourish, Sophia's Rome letters, law abroad, love's local. Elena's book 2 launch, European jaunt tying. Paris signing, sane stroll to bridge tryst, her hand rail grip, fingers quick under coat till arch against iron, Eiffel glow blurring vision. Winter's weave, Sophia home holidays, tales torrential. Resolutions, joint sabbatical plan, year off, world wander. My non-profit expansion, board with Elena's savvy. Spring stride, Sophia, 25, Bar Association Award, young lawyer star. Ceremony, her suit mirroring Elena's youth. Post-speech hug, whisper, your legacy. Dinner familial, then empty nest echo, her pulling to study, bookshelves witness to wall press, skirt flipped, entry swift with toy, rhythm relentless till desk rattled release. Summer sojourn, sabbatical launch, backpacks for Asia, Bali beaches, her bikini tees leading to villa privacy, mosquito net canopy as she bound wrists with sarong, mouth and fingers tormenting to edgeplay peaks, body bowed in tropical surrender. Falls fusion, return recharged, Sophia's firm offer, senior associate, celebrations cascading. Elena's consultancy launch, flexible fire. My docuseries greenlit, thaw lives filming our arc. Winter's warmth, holidays hybrid, Sophia's partner meet, gentle artist, Elena's vetting sly. New year, foursome dinner warm, duo after, her and lace, slow strip to bed worship, ice from champagne trailing, melt to mouth's heat, Fingers curling as tongue swirled, climax champagne sharp. Spring's bloom. Sophia 26, engagement news. Ring simple, joy vast. Wedding planning tag team. Our vows memory lane. My series premiere. Red carpet arm in arm, after-party lounge. Velvet booth, her hand possessive, delving to discreet circles till velvet muffled moan. Summer splendor. Sophia's nuptials beachside. Waves witness. Our rings refreshed in sand ceremony. Post-vows dance. Mother-daughters sway tearful. Honeymoon send-off. Us cabin decompress. Hot tub jets pulsing to her straddling. Water and want churning till splash crested. Fall's fruition. Sophia's merger. Firm growth. Elena's keynotes global. Us tag teaming. My series Emmy buzz. Buzzkill jet lag met with homecoming. Bed dive. Her body bomb. Slow missionary lock. Eyes soul deep as thrusts built to unified shatter. Winter's wisdom. Sophia's pregnancy announce. Grand thaw brewing. Ultrasounds shared. Kicks felt. Resolutions. Grandparent prep. Nursery visits. Life's grand thaw. Elena's soul. Kindest eternal. Legacies layered. Cold myth. She'd affirm. Lips to mine. Your fire forever.